Okay, so what we are going to do is today we are going to talk about ETL, what is ETL, and we will do some ETLs, right? So before we go there, let's understand how to work with. So we saw yesterday we worked with different kinds of files. So we worked with Excel file, JSON file, and we have been working with CSV file. But now today we will first see how to work with databases, and then we will write our first ETL, we will write our second ETL as well, and we'll cover some of the ETL concepts as well. Okay. So for many of you, it might be completely new, especially who are like data analyst or BI profiles. And if you are from data engineering, you know basic ETL stuff. But I will cover basics and how to implement it. Okay. And I will give you a project also for ETL for this weekend, so that because you will have time and you should be able to do it. Great. So let's see how we connect to a database, right? So I have the SQL Server, right? If you have any other database, you can connect with that as well. If you don't have anything, so you go to second install SQL Server. I can give you a link as well. SQL Server downloads, and then you have to say free edition, right? And you can just download the Express one. So once you download it, you can install it. Okay. At the end, so there are two things. One is SQL Server, which is a database, and second is this SSMS. This is an ID where you can write queries. So once you install SQL Server, it will ask you, do you want to install the SQL Server SSMS as well? You can install that as well. I can share the YouTube link where they have explained how to do it on Windows and how to do it on Mac. In Windows, it is straightforward, but in Mac, I think there are some workarounds. So you can follow that video. Once you do that, you will have this available. So you will have your database server. Mine is Ankit SQL Express. This is my server name, basically. If you look at the properties, okay, and then you have the databases. So by default, one master database will be there, right? And you can create your own if you want, right? There will be option of new database, but I'm working with the default one, which is already there, which comes with the SQL Server master database. Okay. So this is my database now. Now what I want to do, I want to work with this database using Python, right? I want to load data, read data, whatever stuff I want to do as part of ETL, right? So for that in Python, we have SQL Alchemy. Okay, so pandas, so we know, and we have this SQL Alchemy library. This we can use to connect to different kind of databases. So in my case, it is MS SQL. So I'm passing MS SQL. If it is Oracle or Postgres, accordingly, you can pass here. I can share. You can just look at the documentation of SQL Alchemy, and you can just pass and connect to it. Okay. So what all information I am passing? So I'm passing. This is my MS SQL, and then I'm passing my server name, right? And this is my server name, Ankit SQL Express. If you see here, you can just check again. Okay. So this is my server name, Ankit SQL Express. And apart from that, I want to connect to master database, right? Master. So I'm passing master database, right? And this is my driver, right? So I have a MS SQL driver in my system. So if you go to ODBC and if you click on add, you will see what all drivers you have. So this get installed the moment you install, MS SQL Server. And this is your driver name, ODBC driver 17 for SQL Server, and that is what I am passing here. Okay, so this is the only all information I'm passing, and this is Windows authentication, so I don't have to pass username password. If yours is username password, you can even pass username password here. You can check the
But
syntax.
driver name, Ankit, you have given in ODBC plus driver plus
Yeah,
17.
this is how we have to give. It doesn't take spaces actually. If I give a space,
Oh,
it is giving me error. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Okay. So
okay.
this engine variable is now is now I have passed all the information that I want to connect to this server, this database. And then I will say engine.connect. The moment I say it, it will connect to the SQL server. Now I can use this connection variable to talk to my database, right? Okay.
Ankit,
So let's just,
Ankit, Ankit, one question was so regarding this MS SQL, Ankit. So here you are using backslash and forward slash both, right? So is there any reason behind, or this is what it is happening?
sorry, come again, I didn't get you.
Yeah, regarding that, the credential you have passed, right? This host name, this
Ah,
URL. So I can
yeah.
see forward slashes and backslashes also. So is this the pattern, or we can pass
No,
anything?
so this server name is this full,
Okay.
right? Apart from that, only forward slashes are there. So forward slash database name and MS SQL forward slash. This is a server name complete. It can be anything, whatever comes in your system.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing regarding this SQL alchemy you are saying. So this also covers the Snowflake database also, or only on-premises databases?
You can connect to, so mostly if you see there are different databases, like for example, if it is Redshift, right? For Redshift, we have to connect using Boto3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of the database have their own, but SQL Alchemy connects to all the relational databases you can connect.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ankit, a brief
Okay.
request. Since this is new to us, can we just have a session where you will explain and we can have the doubts added, if it's fine with you,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what we will do now, we will do our first ETL, right? What is ETL now? So let's try to understand a little bit what is ETL. So let me open this Excel. Okay, so ETL refers to extract, transform, load, right? So extraction means you are extracting data from somewhere, right? So your data can be in S3, it can be in your local system, it can be in your database, it can be streaming data, anything. So you have to extract data from somewhere, right? Let's say you have a company and all your transactions are getting written into a file, and that file is placed into S3, right? Or your streaming data is getting written into S3, right? You have to first extract it, right? So you will first extract it. That will be your first part, extract. Now, once the data is there, you want to apply some transformation. You want to join with other table. You want to do some filtration. You want to do some data cleaning, right? All that stuff will come in transform, filtration, data cleaning, joining, or whatever. Any kind of data massaging you want to do, it comes into the transform part. Once the data is transformed, everything is fine. You want to load it somewhere, right? You want to load it into a database, or maybe you want to load it back to S3 or whatever, right? So that you can use that data. You can use that data for, creating business metrics. Business can use it or whatever purpose, reporting, you can do it, right? So there are three aspects of it. Now the first ETL that we are doing is, so we have this orders data set, right? You see, this we have been working with orders.txt, right? This is my data set, right? So I will extract this data from orders data sets. Okay, and I have a returns data set as well. This is a very basic SQL I'm going to, ETL I'm going to create to just to, so that you guys are comfortable how to work with databases. Okay, so I have orders and returns data set. I will extract this. Now what I have to do, I have to join these two data sets and load into a final table. Okay, so I should have all the columns from order data set and the return from the returns data set, we should have returns, right? The return region. I will join it and load into a table. Okay, fair enough. Is it clear what we are going to do?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So let's start. So what I will do is I will create three functions. So generally, if you're doing ETL, you create three different functions, one for extract, one for transfer, one for load. So it will be easy, right? easy to maintain the code. So I will write my first function df extract. Okay. Now what I'm going to do in extract, I will read my both the data sets. So I will say df underscore orders equal to pd dot read underscore csv and orders dot txt. Right. So this is my orders data set, and then I'm going to create my returns data set. Okay. So this is my extraction part, right? Now this function should return out these two data frames, right? Because otherwise these two functions, their scope is within this function, right? They are local variables. So I need to return this so that I can use it outside. So I will say return. And I can return two variables also. I think we did discuss, but we can just say df underscore order, comma, df underscore returns. I will just tell you how to read them back. Okay. So this is my first part, right? df extract, it will extract both the data sets and it will return df orders and df returns. Okay. Now next what I have to do, once I have this, I have to join them, right? So I will say define transform. So this is my transform now, right? In the transform, what I have to do, I need to join these two data set, right? So what should I do for that? Can someone tell me which function should I use?
You have to pass pass to the data set.
merge function.
Merge function, right?
You have to pass
Right,
first to both the data frame and then you have to
right. So I have to say, I'll just pass it df dot merge, right? And in the first, I will pass df orders, right? And then second one, df returns. Okay. And then how let's do inner for now. We'll see, we'll change it. Okay. And then left on, we have the order ID.
you have to pass as a parameter, right?
Yeah, I'm passing it.
Ankit,
Okay.
we have to call the function, right?
Yeah, we will call it. I'm just
Okay,
creating the function and I'm going to call it.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I have to pass? I have to pass these two here, right? I'll just show you how to do it. I'm just writing the function. So when I'm calling the function, then time I will show you how I'm passing it. But it will take two arguments, right? df orders, df returns. It will use it and it will create another one df and it will return df, right? Okay. Let's run these two first. Okay. Otherwise, okay. So
Ankit,
I'll say extra. Sorry.
there is a typo for the returns.txt.
Returns. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's call extract. Okay. Now what extract will do? It will return two data frames, right? So I will take them back in two data frames like this. I can take. So when I have one variable, I can just do this, right? I have two, I can just pass comma separated values. It is like unpacking because it will return a tuple, basically tuple kind of thing. Okay. So then when I say extract, these two variables, right, will go into df orders and df returns. Okay. So if I run this, we have to run this first. Then run this. Okay, spelling mistake, I think. Yeah.
I think first line is not on import pandas.
Okay. We have not run this. Okay. So this is done now, right? So if I check df orders, df returns quickly, this is my orders and then this is my returns. Okay. This is my return. So both data sets are there now. Great. Now next what I have to do, I have to now transform data, right? So what I will do, I will call the transform function and I will pass these two data frames, right? So this is my extract. And now I am doing some transformation, right? In transformation, I am calling my transform function, passing these two, right? So the moment I pass it, it should return the df, right? So I will say df equal to, because it will return just one value, so I can just say df equal to transform this. Okay, and let's see. Again, there is some other right.
Right on.
Right on. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Now let's see what we have in our df. Okay, so we have the data in region also, and that is what we wanted. And because it is an inner join, we are just getting the data which is common in both, right? Now this is my second part, right? If I do left join, I will get all the data. That is fine. That is not more important. Now the third thing, we have to load the data. So let's do it. So I will think say define load, right? So to load back the data, okay, it needs df, right? I will just pass df. Okay. And to load the data back to SQL, I have to say df dot. So like we use two CSV, two Excel, two JSON, two Parquet. Similarly, df dot to SQL we have. Okay, it will write back data to SQL. Now, what all information I have to give? Can someone just guess what all information we should pass to this function?
SQL engine.
Database.
Connection information. Connection
Data
information.
Connection information. So that will be con is a variable. I will pass con, right? So this CONN is my connection, right? CONN. Okay, this is one thing. Otherwise, it will not know where to connect, right? Second thing is, so data frame, it knows that this data it has to load, right? Which is fine. Now, where to load, right? Which
Table
table?
level.
Table should be there. Yeah.
Table level. Yeah, table level.
Table is not there. I'll come to that. So if table is not there, let's say I'm just passing some table name. So I will say table name is, let's say, ETL final orders final something. Let's say orders underscore final. Okay. So this is my table name where I want to load the data, and this is my connection. This is the two information I need, bare minimum, right? We will talk about more parameters, but this is the bare minimum I need, right? So what I will do, I will just call this load. So I will say load df, right? So what it will do, it will pass this df we created, right? So this df it will pass and it will just put it into a orders underscore final table and using this connection. Okay, let's run this. Also, what we have to do is we have to do commit as well. So I have to say con dot commit. Right. So whenever
But SQL Server
I'm
is
writing
default
some,
commit, right?
sorry.
SQL Server is default commit, right? Default is
No,
not
so
SQL
when
Server.
I'm doing with Python, if I'm writing something back to database, I have to always do this commit. Otherwise, this connection will be open. I mean, it won't commit and the table will be logged, basically.
Oh.
Okay, so to freeze up the table, I have to say connection dot commit. So it will just commit whatever it has written. It will freeze up the table. Otherwise, it will be locked and I won't be able to query. Okay, so let's do this. Name load is not defined. Okay, we have to run this first and then this. Okay, so this has run. I'll just remove it. This is creating confusion. So this has run. We have not got any error as such. Okay, let's see this table is there or not in our SQL Server. So I will say select star from orders final. So we have this data, right? So this table just got created, which has all the rows. Now, one problem we can immediately see is this index column is coming. We don't want index column, right? It is of
So,
no use for us.
so how it defaulted to master DB?
No, we passed it that I want to connect to master, right?
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now
What
I
is
don't
that
want this.
CON equals to CONN?
So this is the connection parameter that we have to pass. This is the variable that we have to pass to equal. And what is my connection parameter? This is the CONN. Okay.
So
So
can't we
instead of
write?
CON, we can
So,
take anything.
This can be
Ankit,
any name. This has to be CON. This can be any name. This is just a variable name. But here it is named argument and one of the argument is con.
And what is that commit at the end when it's final?
So if I don't commit, what happens? It locks the table, right? The moment you commit it, it frees up the table.
Ankit, the way you have called the extract function here, so does it
Mhm.
mean that the extract will be called one for the DF orders and once again for the returns?
No, it is called once only. And it is returning the two data frames. It is called only once. I have called only once. See, extract only once I have called.
Yes, but you're assigning it to kind of like two variables here, right? So
Yeah,
just
because it
wondering
is
how the
returning,
logic
it is
works.
returning, yeah, it is returning two variables. And both of them we are reading at once. Normally, when we discuss function, we didn't discuss this, but you can just return two or how many values you want.
Ankit, anyway, if we just have to assign it to DF orders equal to extract and not take the return one.
We don't do this, you are saying?
No, we do that. We return both
Mhm.
of them, but for a use case, we only need orders to be considered and not the returns one for particular extract. So in that case, how do we assign only orders equal to extract
Uh,
and skip the
so this
return?
extract with return a tuple, and maybe
Huh.
you can just take first value of the tuple.
Okay.
But you can read both and then, anyway, it is returning both. So you can read both and then use one, right? If your function is, yeah,
Ankit, is it concatenating?
not concatenating. They are two data frames separate. They are
Below
two data
in the
frames
in the
separate.
in the 15th cell,
Mm-hmm.
df order comma df returns equal to extract. I mean, is it in the tuple? Is it concatenating?
Let me create a simple function. Okay, just a minute. Okay, return two values function I'm creating just to clarify this. Okay. I will say return 2 comma 3. Okay, and then let me call it. If you see, it is returning 2 comma 3. It is a tuple, right? It's a tuple.
Okay.
So if I want to read it, one way is I can just put in a variable, right? A. Okay. Now if I say A0, it will give me the first value, right? 2. If I say A1, it will give me the second value, right? So if your function is returning more than one value, right, it comes as a tuple and then you can unpack it. We have learned before, right, how to unpack. So I can just say A comma B, right, equal to return two values. So first value 2, it will put in A, and second value 3, it will put in B. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay, is it clear now? Everyone?
Again, it will create one table in the database, right? So how it will assign the data type is everything is a string, or it will take the integer value and date value
Okay.
also.
Let's see. Let's see. So we have tables. So we have orders final. This is the one we just created, right? And see columns. So it is taking columns as per your data frame data types. Okay.
Okay, if
We
we
can
need to
even
make, if we need to make something to date, then we need to typecast, right? Like
so
we need
ideally we should not create table like this. Ideally we should ourselves create the table, right? And just insert the data.
Okay.
So you will know what is your final table looks like. So you create the table first. I'll just show you how to create a table and then insert the data. So I show you next something. So I'll just remove this. Okay. So what I'm doing now. So first problem for us is that index we don't want, right? I'll come to second part. But index we don't want. So I can say index equal to false, right? Now this is true for your 2CSV, 2XL, all of those functions. The moment you write to 2CSV, 2XL, it will write the index of the data frame also. So if you don't want the index to be written to a file or database, you can just pass index equal to false, which means you don't want index, right? Okay. Now if I run this, what do you think? Will
It would be
there
duplicate.
be any
Duplicate.
duplicate? Is I have not set anything primary key, right? So duplicate is fine. There's no issue, right? I mean, it should be able to insert it, right?
Yeah, it would
Let's
be
run.
insert, but duplicate with
No,
duplication will
no,
happen.
it should, ideally it should fail, okay, because table is already there.
Right.
If
So orders final is already there and it will try to create again, right? So let's run this. So it is saying orders final already exists, right? So this table is already there, right? So it will try to create again and it will get an error. Now there are two ways to solve it. One is that if table already exists, you want to replace it. You want to drop that table and create another table, right? So what you can pass, if exists, then you will say replace it, right? So if the table is already there, you want to replace it. And let's run it again. Now no error. And if I check back here, execute, see index column is not there. It has created the table again. And because I have that said index equal to false, we no more have index column. Okay.
Ankit, similarly, can we create views also? Or
Views.
only database?
Views you have to create in database. You cannot create from you can pass, I think, create view command, it will create it, I feel. I'll tell you how to pass the normal commands. This is just the writing, but any other command that you write, you can write using some other function. I'll just tell you.
Sure,
Okay. Okay. Now the another thing is you said every time I write, it should append the data instead of replace. So replace what will do? It will drop the table, create again, drop the table, create again. But what you want every time you load, let's say you have a batch load every day and you want to just keep appending it. So you can just pass append. Sorry. Okay. So there are three things which you can pass to if exist, replace, append, and error. Error is by default, right? Because if table is there and table is if table exists, it will give you error, which is the default one. Apart from that, you can pass replace or append. So if you do append, it will just append it. So let's run it
So this
again.
is basically union, right?
Not union. This data is already there. It is just appending more rows.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So these 10 rows are there. It will just whatever rows are coming now, it will insert in this table. So see now we have 20 rows because I am using append. So it inserted the rows again. So every time I run it, it will keep appending, keep appending, keep appending. Okay, so we are done with our all three tasks. We have done extract, right? In extract, we extracted whatever data. Now, this is a common terminology, extract. This extract from wherever it is there, it will be called extract, right? Now, you are working in some project, right? That can be again from S3 or anywhere. It can be from other database. Maybe you are reading from Postgres database or you are reading from SQL Server database and you are writing it to Postgres. So there is a possibility uh, your company is doing some migration, right? Or whatever. And it is doing incrementally, not everything together. So it is writing some ETLs to migrate data. So you can read from SQL Server and then write it to Postgres, right? So all those things you can do. But extract is extract. It can be any data source, and for in our case, it was simple CSV file. Then again, we did a transformation. We did a simple transformation. We just joined these two data set, and finally we loaded into a table. Okay. Any doubt in this
We
full
do
extract ETL?
truncate and load instead of
Sorry,
drop in every time. Can we do truncate and load? So in
we can do truncate and
production,
load. We can do it.
yeah,
I'll tell you how to do it. Okay.
okay.
Ankit,
Okay. So
Ankit,
yeah.
if you want to parameterize this, can we see some after some time?
What
Because we
parameter?
parameterize means if you want to pass table name, here we have by default you have used table name. Instead of that, we can parameterize this or use
Yeah.
same ETL we
You
can
can
use.
pass.
Yeah.
You can pass table name here, second parameter, and then call this function multiple time, and here you pass the table name instead
Okay.
of hard coding it. Yeah.
Okay.
All those dynamics you can do.
Ankit, just one last question. Now that you have loaded the table twice over there, right? And we have now got an appended
20
mode
rows.
and 20 rows. So out of that 20, first 10 are the unique ones and the next are the duplicate ones in
Yeah.
a scenario, right?
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, we can handle that or either introduce an additional column date wise where it can identify that for this particular date, these records are there. Are you
So
getting my point?
generally, what happens is
Mhm.
you have some source data, right?
Mhm.
And you will run it. Now it depends on your final table structure. If you want to have a lookup, right, that this order ID is already there, then don't do it, right? That's what you want to do.
Right.
You have some unique identifier. It can be ID or order ID. In that case, let's say it is order ID. So we have to first check. The next thing we will do the same thing. So we have to first check if order IDs exist, then we will skip those rows. If it is a new order ID, then we will insert. Okay. So all those things we can handle in the pandas. We'll do that very shortly. Okay, great. So now this is
Ankit,
done.
Ankit, one
Yeah.
question. So how we connect to the database? Can you explain the principle?
Sorry.
We connect it to the database, right?
Right.
So how we connect that? That parameter, how we do?
Yeah. This is what we passed. We are using SQL Alchemy,
Mhm.
and we are passing our database details, and then we are just connecting with it. And this con variable we are passing wherever we have to work with it.
I'm
Ankit,
confused with how we get driver details.
How we get that?
Driver details.
I think you joined late. Uh, we can just go there. And here is my driver details. Sorry, ODBC I have to go. And it will show you what all drivers are there, right? So in my system, I have this ODBC driver 17 for SQL Server. So the moment you install it, it will come automatically.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ankit, one question. So,
Mhm.
we are reading here from the order.txt, right? So, do we have option to read the data from the SQL itself?
Yeah. I'm coming to that. So once
Okay.
your data is loaded, now
Mm-hmm.
let's say you want to read it back, right? So let's say df SQL I'm going to create. And now, just like we have read CSV, we have read Excel, we have read SQL query. Okay, so this is the function read SQL query, and in this I can pass my SQL query. So I will say select star from orders final, and then I have to pass the connection detail because without connection it won't be able to do anything. I will say connection or con equal to con. You can pass anything is. Second positional argument is con. So if you don't pass, it will take it, or you can even pass it. It is absolutely fine, right? So you are saying, give me now this query can be any complex query. I'm just writing select star from orders final. You can write any complex query, joins or group by or whatever you want to do. Just put it, whatever the result of it, it will get it and put it into this data frame. Okay, so let's run this. It ran, no error. and let's see TF underscore SQL. So you see, we have the 20 rows. We have 20 rows in that table, and in the data frame, we got back the 20 rows. So this way I can read the data as well. Okay.
This is a data frame, right?
Sorry.
This is a data frame that has been.
Yeah, this is a data frame now. The data frame, pandas data frame. Read SQL query is a method. Just like we had read CSV, read Excel, read JSON, we have read SQL query. I can just pass my query and pass the connection details. That's it.
So instead of query, can I call procedures?
Sorry, your voice is very low.
Yeah, can I call procedures also?
Yeah, yeah.
SQL
Anything
procedure.
you can call. Yeah, you can call the procedures. Yeah. Okay.
So Ankit, we reading from the SQL, we write the SQL query, but on data frame we are not we are not able to write such kind of SQL, right?
Yeah, this is you are reading from a database, right?
Yeah, and we can write the SQL query, but on data frame like in Spark we are writing, it's not possible here, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's not possible. Yeah, directly it is not possible. There are some other libraries, as I said in the last session, on top of the data frame which have been built, and you can, write SQL queries as such using that. But natively, they in pandas it is not there.
Okay, okay, thanks, Ankit.
Okay, great. So this is all done. Now let's do some real stuff. What we are going to do. So there is a concept of slowly changing dimensions, right? Let me explain it quickly. SCD, slowly changing dimensions. Okay, so we have SCD1, SCD2, SCD3 also, right? That's fine. We'll focus on SCD1 for today's session. So what is SCD1 is, let's say you have a products table. Okay, and you have product underscore ID, product underscore name, and also you have, let's say, price. This three information we have just for now. Okay. So what is STD type 1 is, it is like slowly changing dimension. So you have a dimension table. Dimension table means where we have attributes. So for example, the product table is your dimension table because it has product attributes, right? Your customer tables is a customer dimension table. It has customer ID, customer name, customer address, all the customer attributes. So these are called dimension tables where you have all the attributes of some particular thing. Now there are fact tables where you have sales data, where you have numbers thing, transaction data, sales data, profit data, all those kinds of things are fact table. So we are focusing on dimension for now. And STD type 1 means I will keep only the latest information. So for example, let's say you have a product ID 1, product name is, let's say, iPhone, and price is 50,000. Okay. So this is your product 1, and there are another product, iPhone, let's say laptop you have, and this is, let's say, 60,000. Okay. So this is your information currently.
Ankit,
Now, yeah,
Ankit, can you explain again what is fact table and SCD?
yeah, I'll explain it 1 second. So if you go to, let's say, Amazon.in, okay, you see all of the products, right? There are so many products you see here, right? If you go in any category. So how these products are coming here? So there are different vendors. They upload their products, right? That let's say I'm selling iPhones. So what I will do, I will go. There will be some UI from Amazon for me. I will go and upload that. This is my product name. This is the picture. This is the description, and all that information it will give you, and then it will just press save, and the Amazon will save it somewhere in the database, right? So just consider this is your product table, right, which has product ID. We are just putting very simple 3 columns, not making it complex. Now STD type 1 means, so dimension means where we have attributes. So there are two things, fact and dimension, right? So dimension is where you store the attributes. So attributes of product. So this is a product dimension table, right? You can call it products underscore dim, right? Similarly, if you are storing a customer table, you have customer dimension table, right? Then let's say, now let's create a simple fact and dimension table, then it will be clear. So let's say I have a fact table where we have customer wise sales, right? Total sales we have. So I have customer ID, product ID, right? And sales. So for each customer, for each product, how much is the sales, right? So if I don't put ID, right, I have to put the customer name, right? Let's say I'm putting customer name, product name, and sales. So let's put it quickly. Ankit, Rahul, Manish. Okay. And let's say these are my products. iPhone. iPhone. Let's say Ankit is again buying something. Laptop. And this is my sales, whatever. 50,000, 60,000. Right? And just put in some random numbers. Okay. So this is my fact table or transaction table. Fact table you can say, because I have the sales information, right? Now there is one problem with this table. So if I want to check, you know, I want to analyze that which age category people are buying my product, right? I want to have based on demographics that what is the age, what is that age range. So now for a customer name, I have Ankit, right? But I don't have any information of Ankit, right, in this table, right? Now one thing is I store all the customer information here itself. So I will also store customer age, right? So I will just store, let's say 30, 25, 25, and this is 30 again, right? So there are two things. One is I am repeating the information. So customer name is Ankit. I know same customer, but every time I'm unnecessarily, putting the customer age, right? Also, if let's, and there are other attributes of customer also, like customer address and other things. Now, if I put everything in this fact table, it will be redundant, right? Because every time Ankit buys something, that same information will be repeating, right? It is, we are not efficient. So what I will do, I will create another table, right? Table, customer dim table. I will put all the customer details here, right? So I will put customer ID, customer name, and age, right? Let's say one Ankit 30. Now, every time Ankit buys something, I will just, instead of customer name, I will pass customer ID, right? And I will pass here 1 and 1. Similarly, for Rahul Manish, we will have 2 more rows here. So this will be 2, this will be 3, let's say 25, 34, right? So every time Rahul buys something, I will just put 2. Every time Manish buys something, I will put 3. Now I don't need customer age column, right? This is not required. Why? I can just join this with this and get the customer details, right? So I don't have to repeatedly store the customer name, age, address. No, just I will store in a dimension table, right? And just refer this key of the dimension table in my fact table. Similarly, for product name, I don't want to keep the product name every time here because product will have attributes, the color, or let's say product price or product category, right? I don't want to keep in the fact table. I will just create a dimension table and refer to the ID here. So iPhone is 1, just put 1, 1, 2. So this is my fact table, right? Where we have some at sales or some numbers, and this is my dimension table where we have it. Is it making sense?
Yes, Ankit, thank you.
Okay. Hope
So we
makes
can
sense.
say, Ankit, that the fact table will always have the foreign key of your
Right.
dimension table.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it.
So fact table changes rarely, but dimension table changes very frequently, right?
Every day you are having some sales on Amazon.com, right? So you will have more transactions and your fact table will grow every day. This won't
Ankit,
grow every day because you are not adding product every day or you are not making changes to product. That's why they are called slowly changing dimensions, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Fact will grow every day. Every day Amazon some transactions are happening, but not every day new products will be getting added, right? Or not every day some updates to the products is happening. Maybe happening, it is a big website, but in general, I'm telling you. Okay. Now, what is SCD type 1? Now, you are a vendor, you uploaded that your iPhone 50,000 you are selling on Amazon, right? So it is showing on Amazon. Now the price has increased, right? So it is becoming 55,000. So what will happen? Vendor will come and he will change the price to 50,000, 5,000, and then we also have to change it, right? Otherwise, we will be showing wrong numbers. We will be referring to this table only when we are showing on UI, maybe, right? So I will have to update it. So SCD type 1 says that just keep the latest information. So I will just come here and see what is the product ID and update it. Sorry, 55,000, right? So I don't have any historical information. Whatever the latest price, I will just keep it. Okay. And now if some new product is coming, then in that case, I have to insert it. So let's say iPhone 12, whatever. Okay. Is it clear what is SCD type 1? Let's talk about SCD type 2. Okay. So this is my original table again. This is my SCD 1. And let's talk SCD 2. So SCD 2, just understand because SCD 1 I'm going to implement now in next half an hour. And SCD type 2 you have to implement as part of on your weekend and then we can discuss later. Okay. So what is SCD type 2? In SCD type 2, sorry. In SCD type 2 you have product ID, product name, price, right? So initial price was 50,000. Okay. So this is your initial table. Now in SCD type 2 we have to keep all the history as well. Meaning that I have to create two more columns. So I will say effective date and expire date. Okay. Now, when the price is changing, so let's say this product was inserted on 2023 0101. Okay, 23. Let's say. So the vendor uploaded it on 1st January 2023, and this product also. Okay, so this is 1st January 2023. Now, what is happening on 1st March? It is changing. Okay, on 1st March, the price has changed to 55,000. So what happened in the SCD type 1, we just updated it to 55,000. That's it. But in SCD type 2, we have to keep the history. That what was the historical price. We have to keep everything, right? So when we insert it for the first time, and that we do using effective expire dates, from which date till which date this price was there, right? So initially, when I insert this record, I will say this was inserted on 1/1/2023. So effective date is this. Expire date, I will keep some high dates. So I will say 9999/12/31. Okay. So this is your 31st December 9999. So until any other updates come, this will be your active price always. So that's why my expire date is high date. That forever this price is active if nothing comes new, right? Now the again for this also I will keep the same. Okay. Now I got to know that in product ID 1 there is a change in price. So what I will do, I will insert one more record of product ID 1 iPhone and I will say 50,000, right? Now this is effective from where? This is effective from March. So I will say 2023 0301, right? So it is 1st March 2023 and expiry date will be high date, because from 1st March until any new updates come, this will be the price. But for this, I have to update the expiry date because it has expired on April, right? 31st April. So I will say the moment I find this, I have to do two things. I have to update the expiry date of the existing product, right? Wherever expiry date is high date, I have to update it. So I will make it 2023. It is March, right? So it got in February, it got expired, right? 28th February. So this is how my SCD2 type table will look. Now there is one more problem in this table. There is no primary key, right? Because product ID will repeat now. Are you all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right? So if I put product ID 1 here, right, then it will join with 2 data, which will be a problem. Right? If I keep product ID in my fact table and then join with this, it will get me 2 data, which will be a problem. I don't know what is the price, right? It is a problem. You all agree?
Yes. Yes.
So I will have to create one more key. I will say product key. It is also known as surrogate key, right? It doesn't have any business context. It is just to have a primary key for my SCD type 2 table. So I'll just keep a running number here, 1, 2, 3. Now, all the sales which has happened between these two dates, right, they will have product key 1, right? All the sales which has happened sales after this date will have product key 3. Okay. So now when I join, I will get it, whatever it is there, right? And accordingly, I will get my total sales or whatever information I want. Are you all agree with me?
Complete right. Product name should be iPhone 12, right?
That is the third one. That is we just talked about the update. Now this new, let's say new one is coming. Then we have to make a new entry here. So it will be like 3 iPhone 12, 70,000. And let's say this is also coming on 1st March. So 1st March I will put, and this will be high date and it will be product P4. This should be a running number, right?
Maybe you can give any other numbers per product ID. That may be confusing.
Yeah, let's do 100 something, right? 100, 200, and this is 100, 100, 200, 300. And let's change it again. 100, 100, 300.
Ankit, some noise is coming from the background.
Guys, please go on mute, everyone. Thank you.
Ankit, but in the fact table, product key, which is the surrogate key, that will be used, right? Not the product ID.
Right. It will be one. Sorry, I made a mistake. You are right.
Right.
Yeah. It will be product key. Okay. So whatever transaction would have happened, they would have taken this product key 1 and got inserted into this table. The new transaction which happens, after 1st March, on or after 1st March, will take the product key 3 and insert into the table. Okay.
Ankit, while practically implementing this SCD1 and SCD2, do you make changes in your original tables in which you explained in SCD1? Or do you migrate the data in this format and redo everything again?
No. So if you are doing STD1, your table structure will look like this. You won't have effective date and expire date column at all.
Yeah, but then the effective date, expire date will come into picture, like say 6 months after we created everything in the SCD1. So then do you just go and alter your product dimensions?
No, you start with SCD2. You have to design first that what you want ultimately, right? So you will start with this structure only. So for all the products, it will be your effective date and expiry date will be high date for all of them, right? It is not that after 6 months changes will come and then you will add column. No. So you have to first decide your design, that how you want your table. You want to keep updates or no? If you don't want keep updates, then you will just design your table like this. Maybe you can have last update column, last update date, so you can track what when was the last time any update happened, right? If you think you have to keep history, then initially only you have to design table like this.
Ankit, also we can able to use one derived column like a flag indicator, active column for active
We can
column.
do that. We can do
Mhm.
that. So this is also a practice some people do. So active flag. The active flag will be initially 1 for this, but when it got expired, it will be 0. So wherever you see high date, those are all active records. So if you want to see the latest data of all the products, you can just put filter where active flag equal to 1. So you can maintain this flag also. Otherwise, you can say expired date equal to high date. It is the same thing. So it is not a compulsion. It depends on how you design it.
Ankit, I did
Ankit,
not
how,
get it. Active.
Ankit, how are we going to generate the surrogate values here? I mean, surrogate key values.
So you can use sequencers, right, in SQL Server.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can create a sequencer. I'll just share quickly. SQL Server sequencer. Create sequence, and you can call the sequence basically, and it will generate a new next value every time. Okay. How do you call? There should be some examples. Create sequence. This. Okay, this is done. Yeah. So when you do this, select a star from sequences, it will give you a new number and then you can use it. Yeah, just select next value from this. So every time it will give you a new number, 1, 2, 3. So for the surrogate key, it will be helpful, right? You want a new number, right? So you create a sequence and say, select next value for this, right? And it will
So the
just give
value
it.
starts with value starts from 0 or it starts from 1?
Yeah, so when you are creating sequence, you can give all that information. So you can say start with, you can say 0, 10, 100, increment by, let's say you want 100, 200, 300. So you can say start with 100, increment by 100, right? You can give, when you are creating sequence, you can give all this information. Okay. Great. Great. Let's quickly do SCD type 1. Okay, we have just half an hour. Quickly. So I have the products table already. Let me do this. Select star from product. Okay. So I have this data already. Okay. Let me delete this data. I will do from the scratch. Truncate table products. Okay. So I don't have any data now in the products table. Cool. Now let's create. So let's say in Amazon, someone has gone and added 2 products. So this will be my products table. This is my products table. Okay. So these are my 2 products. I've just put already. So I have product ID 1, HP product, HP laptop, and price is this. And then I have iPhone and price is this. Okay. Okay. Are we good? Let's read this. So where is my Jupyter? Here. Okay. So again, I have to create a new extract. So I will say extract, sorry, define extract, and I will say my df underscore products equal to pd dot read underscore csv and products. It is product, right? Or products dot txt. Okay. So it will get me df product. Now, if you see, I also have to check that some product is already there or not, right? So in this table, if you see the SCD type 1, right? I have to check if it is already there or not. If it is already there, then I have to make a update. If it is not there, I have to make an insert. Is this part clear? That I have to check with my existing database table as well to compare, right?
Yes.
Right? Because otherwise, how I will know which record to insert or which record to update? Otherwise, we won't know. So I have to look into my database table as well, right? So I have to read data from my table as well. So I will say df products db, let's say. This is coming from db, right? So I will say, just let's copy this quickly. So let's start from table name is products, I guess. Table name is products. Yeah. So I'm saying select star from products, and this is my connection I'm passing, which I have already created. Okay, I'm not creating again. On the top I have created, we can use this. Okay. So this will be my simple extract. There are two extract, df products and df products db, and it will just return all both of them. So return df products, comma, df products db. Okay. Now, next thing will be, I will just call this and put it into two variables equal to extract. Okay. Let's see if we have done any mistake or we are good. No mistake here. This is also fine. I think no mistakes. So we have df products and df products db now. Okay. Now next, what we have to do? Next is transform, right? So define transform these two parameters. Right now, what I have to do? What should I do now? Can somebody tell me? I have to identify which records to insert and which records to update. Merge, right? So I will do a merge. And what kind of merge I should do?
Left join.
Do left join.
Left out. Left join. And which should be my left table?
Left table should be that
Product one.
that CSV file.
Right. Because from there I have to check what to insert, what to delete, right? What to update. So left will be this one. I can just, first one is always left. So I will just pass df products and this is my right. Okay. How it should be left. I want to do a left join and left on. By the way, one more thing, if the column names are same in both the tables, you can just say on. This is another feature.
I
Right?
think you use different function, Ankit. Read CSV instead of
Sorry,
merge.
cd.merge. My bad. Okay. So generally we have, I have been giving left on, right on. So from left table, which column you want to join on? And from right table, which column you want to join on. But if your the column names are same in both the tables, you can just say on. So it understand that in both the tables, you have a product ID column and you want to read it. Okay. So let's quickly call this one. Changes. Sorry. Okay. So it will return changes. We have to do more things. I just wanted to show how it looks. So I will say df underscore return changes. Then I will say df changes equal to transform. I'm going to call, right? So I got these two values from the extract, and then I'm passing this in transform, and then I'm creating df changes or df merged maybe. Let's do merge. Okay, and let's see if everything runs fine or we have any issue. This is fine. This is also fine. So let's quickly look at df merge, how it looks like. So we have both the values as null, right? Do you agree why they are null?
Yeah, left join.
We are doing left join, and in our database table there is no record. So for both of the product ID, these values are coming as null. Okay, anyone here who doesn't okay, we discussed inner join left join. Sorry, my bad. So inner join left join concept is there in SQL and in the pandas, but anyway, we are working with pandas. So because we are doing a left join, this is coming. Now another thing is, you see underscore x is coming and underscore y. So what happens if the column names are same in both the data frames, right? So we are merging these two data frames, right? So it brings all the columns from here and then all the columns from here. So what happens is, when the column names are same, it will just append this underscore x in the left table, in the right table. For all those columns which are name are same, it will do underscore y. Now, if you want something else, you can, there is a parameter that you can pass to your merge, that instead of x, you can append something else as well if you want. Okay, but that is not of much concern for now. But we understand that we have merged the data and this is none, right? So which means I need to insert these two records, right? Are you guys lost, or are you able to follow me?
Can you show
Yeah,
me
we are able
can you
to.
show me
Following you, following.
can you show me the
Sorry?
column names in the product DB, the table, SQL Server?
You want to change it?
No, so I want to see the column names.
Product ID, product name, price.
Okay, but there are only. Can you go back to that Jupyter now?
Product name, price. Product ID is common, so it will come only once, because not common. I mean, the column I join on, that will not repeat. So I'm joining on product ID, that will come only once.
Okay, that was the concern. Thank you.
Yeah, and other columns will be, if the column name is different, then it will not put underscore x. But if the column names are same, it will just put underscore x and underscore y. Okay.
So how
Now,
we can change that one indeed underscore x to something else?
yeah, I'm doing it. So now what next I have to do? I have to find which records to be inserted, right? So I will say df underscore insert, right? Which records to be inserted? How I will know? I will say I will just take out the product name y, right? Right? And say is none. Sorry, is any. Right? If I run this, it will give me true. It means for both of the records, the product name y is null. It means these two records should be inserted. Are you all agree with me?
Yes. And if they are not null, then we'll update it.
Right. We will come there. We don't have any records so far, but we will just implement this one. So I will just pass it here. Right?
So
this
checking is NA on any column would be fine, right?
Sorry?
Checking is NA on any column would be fine, right? Because all of those.
Any column from right table. Any column from right
table.
Yeah.
Right.
Any column from right table. Right? So now let me return df insert. It will be similar, but let's do it. So I will say df insert is this one, and df underscore insert. Okay, so quickly run this. Okay, so both has to be inserted, so I'm not seeing any difference. Now another problem is I have extra columns. Now I want to insert this data to my table, right? But I have extra columns, so I don't want extra columns. Also, I need to rename the columns, right? So let's remove the extra columns first. So I will say df insert equal to df insert, and then I can pass, right, which columns I want. So I will say, so what were the initial columns in my database? So these are the columns, right? So I can say dot columns. So I want only these columns. So if I look at the df insert, sorry, there is some problem. Product name is not an index. One second. So your insert is this.
Will not have, right? Because this difference, right?
Oh, there is a product name X and price X. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, got it. So what we will do, we will say this then df underscore insert dot log. I want all the columns and then I want only the, sorry, I want all the rows, and then 0, 1, 2. I want just 3 columns, right? So I will say from 0 till 3, right? So 3 it want to give, 0, 1, 2 it will give, right? And let's say what is then df underscore insert now. Or let's make it df insert final. Okay, so that we have different variables to check with. Okay, great. Okay, my
I love.
bad again. Yeah, no. This should work, right? 0 to 3. I lock, you are
For
right.
LLOC,
You are
we
right.
need to give the label, right?
Yeah, we have to give I lock. Yeah, right. And also the square brackets. Okay, great. So in df insert final, we have the 3 column and we want to insert it. So I will just say, so let me put it back here. Control X. So this is my final, right? So this is my final data set. Now I need to return this. Okay, we may have to, 15 minutes extra we may need, so be prepared for that. Okay. So this is my, it will return me df insert final, and when I call this df insert final. Okay. Now I will do a load. Define
So
load.
is there not another way instead of hard coding that locations, left locations?
So you can hard code it. So your table structure will be fixed, right? It is not that daily it is changing. So even if you can hard code it, but we can have other ways as well, right? Even if we hard code, it is not an issue because table structure is not changing daily. So once you write a code, this code will be there, right? Now another thing we have to do is we have to rename the columns as well. So this is my df insert final. So when I'm loading, the column name should be same. So I can say df insert final dot columns equal to whatever columns were there initially. So I will say dot columns, right? So it will take column names from this db1 and insert into this one, right? I mean, it will rename the columns. So if I run this and do this, it has renamed the column. So it has taken columns from here and rename, and we are passing a list basically that these should be my column names, and I have directly taken from the DB products DB. So I'll just run this here. Okay, so I rename the column name as well, and now I'm returning df insert final, right? Now this df insert final, I'm going to use in my load job. So I will say load df insert final, right?
This means, Ankit, always the column name should be same when we are inserting from
Hmm.
data frame to table.
Right. Column name should be same. You are right. So let's copy these 2 lines quickly. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing df.toSQL, and this is my data frame. ToSQL, and my table name is products. Connection is connection. Index fall. If exists, what I want to do? Append or replace? Quick.
Replace.
Are you sure?
Append.
It should be append, right? Why replace? Right? Every new product I want to keep inserting. Right? Okay. So let's run this and run this again. No error. And let's check our products table quickly. And we have the 2 products. Great. Are you guys able to follow till now?
Yes, Ankit.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, Ankit.
Great. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert one more record here. Three iPhone 12, 80,000. Okay. This is all fine, I think. Okay.
Can you also update the one row record?
Otherwise, people will be confused. Okay. So now what should happen? What will happen now? I have inserted one more record, right? So if I just call the extract function, so let's do this. I'll just call extract and transform. I'm not going to call the load one for now. Okay, and let's see what we have. So let's run this and let's run this. Okay, now let's see what is there in df insert final. It is there already. Great. So see, only the product ID is 3 is there. Do you guys understand why?
Yes, we are doing that
Yeah.
left join and
Left in
we
left
are
join that got ellipse.
filtering the null values.
Exactly. So now if I run my load one, right? Let me just run this one. I don't want to run everything again. And this is done, right? And just move it back. Now if I go, I will have 3 products. Great. Now let's do the update, the next part, for which we need more coding. So let's do it quickly. So I'm going to change the HP laptop price to 55,000. Okay, cool. Now what I have to do? So this is my insert, right? Is NA, right? Are you all agree?
Yes.
Now to get the update one, what I should do? So I will say df underscore update equal to what I will do?
Is
Price
not
column.
I can do this. Is not NA
Yes.
or
Right.
not is NA? I don't know. I think is not NA. Okay, so do we have df merged outside just to try it out quickly? df merged is there, right? Okay. So if I do this, let's see if it is working. No, it is not working. Not is anything. Something is there.
Ankit, the column will be price, no, not the product name.
It can be anything, right?
No, but you are changing the price in this particular case.
No, I'm just checking if it is none or not.
Okay.
Okay. So not n is there. Okay. Not n is the function. So which means these, so I merged on product ID, right? I merged on product ID and I'm checking if it is not null, it means it is coming from the database also. Right? So let me run this. Okay. I'll just say is not NA and then I will return both of them. df update, right? Now this is the advantage of doing a functional way, right? If there is a script, I have to select what I should run, what I should not run. Now I don't want to run load. I can just comment it, right? So this makes my life easy. So now this is returning 2 data frames, right? df update and df insert final. So let me do this. Okay, let's run this quickly. So if I run this and then run this, okay. Now let's see what we have. So what do you think? What will be there in df insert final?
Nothing.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Alisha?
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing will be there, right? Because these 3 products are already there, isn't it?
For those, it will
Yes.
be not null, right? It will not.
Yeah, right. And in df update, what will be there?
55.
Actually, all are there. So generally, what will happen? This is a wrong representation. So you won't get everything in this product.txt. You will get only the new products and the updated one, right? So these won't be there in your next day file, right? So whatever your file is there, this is only incremental daily file. So either you will have updates or you will have inserts, right? Are you all agree?
Can have both, right? It can have.
No,
It
can have both.
It can have both, but it won't have the copy records basically.
Yeah,
So
but
let
it
me
will
create
insert
one
them.
more.
Yeah, right.
iPhone 13. and let's make it 75,000. Okay. So I have 1 and 4 now. For 1, I have updated the price, and for this one, this is a new one. Okay. So let's remove this and run our program again. So this is my program. This is it. Now, if I look at DF update, I have only one, right? Earlier it was 50,000. Now it is 55,000, right? Because this is coming from the database, the right data frame. It is 50,000 and the new price is 55,000. Is it okay now?
Yes.
And in the insert final, we will have one record, right? Because this was not there in the database. So when I say is NA, it would have come.
Ankit, can you please mention the comments on each line, because it would be some confusion after some time.
No, but I have just named like that. So this is must and this is the insert one all. So there won't be any confusion. Okay.
So for any ETL, this is the basic way to implement the SCD, right?
Right.
The basic, the foundational. Upon that, we can do anything, but this is the main thing that we have to always check, right?
Exactly. You have to always check is null or is not null after doing the join, and it will give you. If it is null, then it means it is a new thing. If it is not null, it means it's a same thing. You have to
And
update
the preferred join is to take the left one.
Right.
Right.
And then can you explain one more time regarding the DF update?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not done yet. We have just got data frame, but we have to update it in the table also, right?
No, this command, right? DF of merged of product name underscore y, not NA.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I do a left join, let me show you the database. This again, 1 second. So DF must we want to see. Let's say DF underscore must. Okay. So okay, this is the old one. Let me return this as well, just to show everyone. DF must and DF must. Okay. We don't need it, but just to show, I am just doing it. Okay. So okay. And let's see what is the DF must. So in DF must we have 2 rows, right? Because this is my lab data set. It has 2 rows, right? This I am treating as lab. So both the rows will come from here.
Okay.
Are you agree with that?
Yes.
In the merge, I am using this as my lab table, right? Whatever I read from the file. This I am reading from the DB. So because this is a lab table, there are 2 records. So in my merged also 2 records are coming, right? Now I am joining based on product ID, right? Now if you look at the database, this product ID is there, product ID 1, right? It's already there. So its data is coming here, HP laptop 50,000. But for product ID 4, there is no data in my database, right? So it is coming as null. Okay.
And Ankit, in this we are maintaining a data frame for everything, like for update, for insert, for merged, right? And that is how it should be for every ETL, right?
Right. Okay. So if you see, now I want record which needs to be inserted, right? So for those records, this product name will be null. Do you agree? This record has to be inserted, right? Because this is a new product. So that's why I'm saying for the insert one is NA. Give me all the rows where this is null. Right? And for the update, where I have to update the prices, I am saying not null.
And Ankit, one question regarding that iLock you have used, right, for this induction. Can you please explain once?
Yeah, so what is happening in DF insert final, if you see, this is the one we got created. Okay. Okay, here we don't have. So DF insert. Okay, we created DF insert here, right? This is DF insert. So if I look at the DF insert, you see we have extra column because we did a join, right? So we don't want these 2 columns.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm just saying take all the columns from 0 index to the second index. We don't want these two columns. So I'm just tagging these three columns. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. There are other ways also, but you can explore. But this is one way that I just want these three columns. So I want these three columns. That's it. Okay. Great. Now next thing is we have got the DF update as well, as we can see, right? We have the DF update and we just return the DF update as well. Right. Now what I have to do, I have to use this data to update my table. Now here's one problem. Let me do one thing first. Let me take only the columns which are required. So again, I want only these three columns. I don't need these columns. I just needed to check if it is exist or not, which I have able to get it. Now I don't want these columns. I know what is there in my DF update. So I will say DF update final DF update final equal to DF update dot ilog 03, and let's rename the column names as well. The same thing. So df update final equal to db products dot columns, which is fine. Okay, great. So let me return df update final. Okay, I'm just removing df must. We don't need it. Why to return it unnecessarily? And we have df update final, and I'll just remove this. Okay, and run this and run this, and let's see what is there in DF update final. Sorry, we are running out of time, but we have to finish it today. If you are running late, you can check the recordings later. Sorry about it. Okay, so this is my DF update final. Now what I have to do, I need to go to database, right, and make the changes. That for product ID 1, make the price 55,000, which is currently 50,000, right? Now how do I do it? Now when I'm writing sorry. Yeah. So how do I do it? So what I have to do is I have to write this to a staging table, right? So whatever updates I have to do, I will write it to a staging tables. Then I will run an update statement. Okay. I'll show you how, but let's do it. So what I'm doing now, load staging. Let's define one more. Define load stage. Staging table. Why I need it, you will understand in few minutes. But what I'm doing, I'm putting this data in another staging tables. Okay, so I'll create another table. So I'll say select star into. This is how you can create a table actually from existing table. So this from products, and I don't want any data. Actually, we don't need it. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Okay, so let's do this. So we'll do this load staging, and then let me copy this quickly. So this is my update final. I need to pass update final and update final to SQL, and my table name is products underscore stage. Okay, so this is my product underscore stage, and index equal to false. If exist, I want to replace it, right? I don't want to append in this, right? I just
Yes.
want to, whatever the updated data I have to, update, I will just float that every time. So I'll just call load staging, and I have to pass df update final. Okay. So what I'm doing now, I'm just first extracting, then I'm getting this insert final, df update final. In insert final, I have all the rows which needs to be inserted, right? Which will go here. Okay. Another thing is load staging. So whatever updates I have to do, I'm putting into another table, right? So this is my products underscore stage table, and I'm just adding data to it. So let's call it quickly. So load staging is done. This is also done. Okay, you can watch this video again. It is not a simple one, but I'm trying my best to make it simple. Okay, so Let's start from okay. I didn't do commit, right? I didn't do commit. So it is, log. So let me do commit quickly. And let me run it separately for now. Now it is coming. So in this table, I have this data, right? Now in SQL, if you have to, so I need to update products table from product stage table. All you agree based on the product ID?
Yes.
Yes.
I will say update products, right? Set price equal to, and let me put from product stage where products dot product underscore ID equal to. So I'm joining on product stage dot product ID, right? And I'm just saying price equal to product stage dot price.
We can also use in operator, right?
No. So in this case, you have only one product. What if you have 3-4 products? You can't do in because you need the price information also. So you have to join, right?
Yes.
If you do in, you can just do filtering, but you have to know the price as well, right? You're getting it?
Yeah.
Ankit, what if we write this update statement in directly in the Python? Can we skip
Yeah,
the
we will
staging?
write it. I'm just explaining it here,
Yeah,
but I
okay,
will write
sorry.
it. Okay, I'll write it. Okay. So if I run this, what will happen? It will take the product from here, product price from the staging table and update the main table. Right? This is how you will write it. Okay. Let me run it and I will revert it back. Okay. If I run this and select star from products. Okay, so it is 50,000. So this statement is working. I'll just revert it. Update products at price equal to 50,000 where product underscore ID equal to 1. Okay, so this is done. Let's check our table again. Let's start from products. Okay, so it is back to 50,000. Now we have to do it through Python. Okay, so one thing is clear that we have got it. We have got what we have got. We have got the table. We have got the table. Now what I have to write, I have to run this command basically. Update products, right? Set this. This is the exact command I want to run. Now for exact command that if you want to run, you have to use. I have this one. Okay, let me take this quickly here, and then I'm going to explain you. So I'll create a. So ideally, I will create two loads, one for update and one for insert, right? So I will say load insert, or let's say insert load. Let's say inserts only. So I will call here inserts. This is comment currently, and I will define one more, define updates, right? And in updates, sorry, updates. Okay, let me copy this. This is all not required. Let me connection dot execute and then connection dot commit. That's it. Okay. So now in updates, what should go? What should go in updates? Nothing. Right?
Update queue. Oh, here,
I don't have
here.
to pass anything. Right?
Yes.
Because I need to deal with the tables, whatever tables in my data set already. Right?
Correct.
Right. So now I will create a query variable. I will say cell dot text. Right? Cell is what? Cell is my this one, the SQL alchemy variable. So I'm saying for that cell dot text, I will pass the text of my query that I want to run. So I want to run this query and just pass it. Okay, so this is my query that I want to run. Then I will say connection dot execute and I will pass the query. This query will be passed and then I'm going to commit it. Okay, and now what I will do, I'll just run everything. So I have to run inserts and I have to run updates.
Please go on mute.
Guys, please go on mute, please, guys. Okay, that's it, right? Do you think anything is missing? All good? Let me go through the process once again, or let me run it first. Okay, let's run it first. So let's run it. We might get some errors. No, we didn't get any error. Wow, awesome. Updates, spelling is fine. Yeah, all is good. Let's see our products table. Awesome. This 55,000 is updated and the new product also inserted. Great. We did a SCD type 1 in last 30 minutes. 30, 40.
Ankit, just one question. We can do truncate and load as well, right? We can truncate entire table and we can load all the four
Exactly.
things.
Exactly. We can do it. So using this one, you can truncate, right? So instead of replace, what you can do, you can first truncate the table. You write truncate table name, and then here use append. In that way, it will not create table every time. You agree?
That will be
So
full load,
replace
right?
is not good thing
Full
because
load.
what will happen every time it will, create table, drop table, create table, which is not a good thing. So what you can do, you can write a truncate first here, and here use insert, sorry, append. Okay, so you will write truncate table, products staging, and then do this.
Ankit, I just see another downside to it about the approach of truncating and reinserting because this is the dim table, right? So we will have the references of the dim's
No, this is
ID.
a staging table. Staging table we are talking about.
Okay.
In that too, we have append only. In that we can't truncate. All the data
Correct.
will go
Correct.
away. We can't do that.
Yeah.
This is for staging table. For staging table, every time. So let's do it quickly. Now you do anything. Our program is ready to handle anything. So let's insert. So now let's say new iPhone is coming, or let's say for iPhone 13, immediately price hike is there, 80,000. And let me remove this. It doesn't matter actually. It can be in any order. I'm just putting. Let's say there's another product 5 HP laptop Pro, and this is 90,000. Okay, and let's save this, close this, and run this first, and then run this. Awesome. All no error. Let's see our table. We have the 5 products. 90,000. iPhone 13 is updated to 80,000. Great. Great, guys. Need some energy.
Yeah, Ankit, one doubt, like here we are giving the entire SQL statement in the Python file, right? So instead, can we keep that SQL statement in a different SQL file and we can call from Python?
Yeah,
Is that
we
possible?
can do that. We can do that. We can do that. You just explore, but it is possible.
Okay.
Okay. You can maybe you can get another file .sql file and read it and pass it here.
So which one is preferred, Ankit? This way or that way?
I think that way is better because if you have to make changes, you don't have to touch your Python script. You can just go and update your SQL file, right? Yeah. So you have to just deploy your SQL file instead of full Python code in your production.
Can we schedule this code?
You can schedule this code. So if you want to schedule in Windows, you can go to command prompt. Okay, and not to command prompt. We have this scheduler, right? Task scheduler. You can just pass your Python wherever installables are there, and then you can pass your Python file name. So I'll just create task name one. Okay, and these are the triggers. Triggers is if you want to run daily or whatever, right? So you can schedule it one time, daily, weekly, monthly. You can schedule it here. And then
Mhm.
when you go to actions, you go to new, and then you have to create a bad file. Okay. So, or you can directly do this as well. So you write your Python script. So wherever your Python installables, right? That path you have to give. Let's say home, somewhere Python is there. But I think Python we have in the environment variables, we can just pass Python. And here we can pass our Python file name. For example, np code date 12.py. .py file it should be. Okay. So,
Jupyter is a
so
dot
this is IPA1 MB. You
IPYM,
can
right?
download as py file.
Okay.
Okay. And if you schedule it, it will just run this program every day or every hour, whatever you want in the Windows. Okay. If you are using Linux system or Mac, then you have to use cron job. There you can schedule in your cron.
Hmm.
Okay.
No. Okay.
You
Thank
can
you.
try it out. It will work. I have done it many times. Okay.
Okay. Thank.